back up toward the west gate, but also leads down toward Old Faithful over there. And we need to go further downstream from where Warm Waters halt. Because when I initially started researching for this trip, I realized that that creek flows north, and it joins in with the Firehole and the little Firehole River, just a little ways up there. So I believe this is a infrequented place that somebody like Forrest would probably go to do his fishing. You know, it's blocked by these pines from the road. There's not a whole lot of places to get through. That's still too much. That still looks too much like Geyser Basin to me. I'm afraid that, you know, with all the dead trees and stuff, I'm afraid I could get into trouble there. So I'm taking it in the canyon down, not too far, but too far to walk. So what is going to be too far to walk? You're going to have to do something else when you get there besides walk. I believe that means that I'm going to have to get in the water. There's a bit of a path, but it's not straight through, and I wouldn't want to get lost, so I need to have a clear sight of the road. There's really only one place that I remember even seeing that, so that's what we're trying to get to. I'll check the time again when I get there, see how long it took. Let's see. This clear area here looks like it could be something, but there's trees at the end of it, and it's coming off of this geyser that's up the hill. So I don't think that's a good idea either. You can pretty much see the creek there though. Man, this feels really good. That's a place that I would, if I was the only guy that knew how to get there, or had the balls to get there, and I could maintain my private little piece of Yellowstone that I've loved since my childhood, that now even at 80 is still a place that I love. There's going to be places that I go that I know of that other people don't. I think this is that place. Alright, this is my first clear look at the creek from the road. I have yet to see any bears or any other humans. I don't know if this is still considered Geyser Basin though. So I'm going to try to stay off to the side as much as I can. Hopefully people will not see me or bug me. And I really got to keep an eye out for them bears. I'm through the tree line. I guess right there is a spot. Why? Oh, I think that might be a pull-off, so you really can't see that when you're driving by. But that's a good spot right there too. I'm pretty visible from the road at this point, so hopefully it doesn't stay that way for long. But I have not seen any animals yet. There's tracks, but no animals. I'm afraid that my glasses are messing with my eyes, so I'm going to take them off for a bit. I don't even know if I'm recording right now, so hold on. This is so beautiful. I truly expected there to be, I don't know what I expected. This is exactly what I expected. I don't know what I'm talking about. But where would he come down to it? And I can just look along the banks here for a while and see if I see anything. Hopefully not mean animals, but God, it looks like I would have a good view if I got in there. Oh shit, I should. I'm gonna have to get in there. Oh, wouldn't this be the place? Right off a freaking cut off from the road. You got this little bit of marshiness, and then you're right here. He said the places that, like, it cuts off like a little elbow, are, you know, the places that the fish would be. So maybe like in that little corner there? I don't know. But I'm gonna have to get in there. This does not look like it should be off limits for any reason, especially not to me, who put in 8.5 years of my life to have access to this place. So if somebody wants to come and hassle me, they can hassle me, but I gotta do it. I think I really do need to be in the water to fully explore this area. Walking along here makes me nervous. It's too mushy, and that's runoff from something, and I just don't want to make footprints all over this place when I don't need to. See, look at the path I made already. I feel bad about that. Although there are some bison tracks out here that I crossed, and there are some, people have been through here. I'm just one of those people. I'm not hurting anything. See, this looks like maybe, I don't know, elk or something? Because they have real small hooves, but they go deep, so it's got to be something heavy. None around right now, though. So I think I'm going to get suited up and get in there. What is wrong with me? Okay. Let's hope we don't get arrested. Wicked little monopod. Or not a monopod, little tripod that you can kind of stick anywhere. Just took some pictures of myself standing by the river with it. I'm gonna record myself putting my arms into this thing. It's pretty hilarious. Did it once at home. It's even funnier trying to get them out. There's no zip on this thing. Just do one arm at a time. Oh, that was better. I'm glad I practiced. That wasn't tough at all. I've got my gym shoes on. They're already getting pretty nasty. But they're my oldest ones. Here's the one. Whatever happens, happens. I have no idea what exists in these rivers either, so that's kind of scary. But I'm all wetsuited up now. Just gotta put my gloves on, and I should be good to go. There's a car stopped it behind me. I wonder if it's cops.
My reward for all of that was about $1,000 a month in pay, a silver star, 3 distinguished flying crosses, a bronze star, 16 air medals, and a Purple Heart. And when I boarded the plane that brought me home, 2 South Vietnamese pilots ran up and handed me a small box, saying, "We want you to have this." It was the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry, their country's highest medal. Although it was not officially presented, I still value it and the appreciation that came with it. Never mind how important those things were to me at the time. They later added up to a big empty. Was there nothing better to show for that year away from my family and risking my life every day? Maybe so. Instead of all those medals, I wish I could have been given a college degree in survival, or at least an honorable mention for just having lasted it out. Or maybe when it comes my turn to die, somehow that year could be rebated and tacked on to let me last a little longer. The sense of pride that I felt while serving in that war has since seeped out of me. But I am still alive. What about those whose bones are rotting under the headstones of 1,000 wars? Are we forever destined to the same old bloody waste, forever, over and over? Surely there's more out there. But where? Looking back now, I feel as if I were being slowly educated by a larger hand, one that I could not then identify. I've already said that the whole Vietnam thing was unlikely as far as my participation was concerned. The Philadelphia saga is of no consequence except for the underlying mystic implications that took me years to sort out. Both incidents are important only to me. They have produced something I cherish, yet feel inadequate to explain, but I will try. It is more than sad to me, not just that the French soldiers are dead and buried, but that no one knows where they are, or even who they were. No one is crying now that a half a century has passed. The ground knows, and the tall grass knows, but they won't tell. And what of the wives and children of those soldiers? Have they gone on to live with 100 forgotten memories? Sure they have. So, in my mind, these lines have converged to tell a story that satisfies me in my heart. We're only there, it really counts.
We just spent quite a bit of time over there, from there, over to this big log, and then down here. I still think this is the perfect kind of spot. This is exactly where a bronze chest would just look like a box sitting somewhere, and nobody, unless they get down in there with goggles like I did, is going to be able to tell if that's really what it is. It's just going to look like a rock. But there's some good spots that look like fish would love to hang out. I might go back over there and stick the camera down in some really cool ones. Probably will, actually, before I move on. Maybe I'll just do that right now. Just stick the camera down in some spots. I don't see a lot of evidence of human activity around here. There's no trash or anything, which is awesome. I saw the bill of some torn up hat over here, but a bear could have knocked that out or something. Who knows? It's flowing enough to push me, but not enough to really make it dirty and dank and nasty. I mean, you can see the bottom, so if it's here, I should be able to see it. It shouldn't be covered with like 3 years worth of stuff being dragged downstream. I love that this wetsuit is holding a thin layer of cold water against my body whenever I get out of the water, because that is keeping me from being too hot. So I'm gonna go down to that little area, show you what it looks like over there, and then probably in the big log. Some of this stuff is too shallow for that I just walk through.
I justify expressing my thoughts here because they have been pounding at me for so long. I certainly can't identify all of the lines that spun the web that forms the latent beliefs that brought me here, but these are some. I borrow now from Omar Khayyam, who died in the first quarter of the 12th century. His words are some of those that tell the insidious stories the best, stories that have made me think. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. Alike for those who for today prepare, and those that after some tomorrow stare, Muezzin from the tower of darkness cries, "Fools, your reward is neither here nor there." Strange, is it not, that of the myriads who before us passed the door of darkness through, not one returns to tell us of the road, which to discover we must travel too. Those thoughts have so much to say to me. There are others who have said the same thing, perhaps less eloquently, but just as meaningfully, such as Andy Warhol, who certainly had his 15 minutes of fame, or Shakespeare in As You Like It, who wrote that all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their entrances and their exits, and one man in his time plays many parts. Okay, Mr. Shakespeare, now just name one player, or even one part about which you speak. The name may be remembered if it is written, but what of the person? No, each one has faded like the smell of a dying daffodil. No sooner does one depart than another takes its place, again and again, only for the same fate to befall.
This is what it's going to take for somebody to find that thing. I really, up until this morning, after I met Pete and Allison, I was not sure if I was going to do this. I wasn't sure if it would be possible, but I've more than fulfilled myself. I've not done yet. I've gone as far as I can go. Wrong enough. I invite you all to follow my footsteps, pick a different area of this creek, see if you feel like my, points that I made were valid. And I'd love to know if somebody comes out here and finds us in this area. That would be amazing. I'd like that more than keeping this area secret to myself and nobody ever finding it if I'm the only one that ever thinks about it. Make sure you always have water with you. If you come out for more than just the treasure, you come to see Old Faithful and stuff, you're going to end up on walks that are going to be a lot longer than you expect. And if you don't have any water, you're going to be in bad shape. And splurge for the bear spray. I'll need that in my car, whatever, use on humans for years to come if I don't use it today. But I can't imagine being out here today and not having it, just to know that I had it. We move further north past where bear spray. That's where it's been sitting. Imagine this thing being in a place where, like, Forrest had, his best catch, or maybe had like his best day ever fishing, and it's just something that he did privately. He didn't really talk to people about it. He kept this area secret to himself. That's why he's never mentioned in the book. That's why he's never mentioned it in an interview. I think too far to walk can mean anything but getting in the water. Fly, that's too broad. Driving a car is too obvious. Getting on a bike, really? This is an 80-something-year-old, almost 80-year-old man. He's not going to be that broad. It's more specific. It got real specific real fast because the final clues lead to a real specific spot. So if you're starting, in another state with your first clue, you're not going to be able to narrow down far enough by the time you get to where you need to be. So I think my clues are pretty straightforward, I guess, and I can totally see Forrest getting this place. This place is absolutely amazing. I'll never forget what I spent down here. So if this was not his spot, I invite all of you to come here and check this spot out for yourself. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't believe the weather has been the way it has been. Just keep his name in your hearts. It's been a big deal to a lot of people. Anybody who's ever dreamed of something like this, he's a hero to them. To me. And I think we should really try to concentrate on remembering war veterans especially. Do a lot for this country. And something we don't deserve in return. All of you wounded warriors and people, family members of people that have lost loved ones in battle, I'm with you. Forrest with you. That's what this is about. This whole thing was about getting me out here to see this place. I mean, there's a whole reason for the treasure going to begin with. I would have liked to have brought my kids, brought them the last time when I went to Mexico, but that caused problems. And so this time I had to do it myself.
Did Shakespeare really say, in other words, that most of us come into the world for a little while, are blessed perhaps, then depart, and are soon forgotten by history? Of course he did. And Longfellow, who was born almost 200 years ago, wrote, "Lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints in the sands of time." But what about those of us who are not great men? Are we not somehow entitled to leave a slight footprint somewhere? Did Lee Harvey Oswald thirst so for remembrance that nothing else mattered? Or John Wilkes Booth? Both of them, and a multitude of others, have conveyed the same meaning in vastly different ways and at vastly different times and places. But they really said the same thing. Look at me. I'm somebody. Please don't forget. So of course we forgot.
Spots that are off in the corners where you would think that Forrest was talking about, and I think it was on Too Far to Walk. He talked about a certain area that was the best places to fish. It's like the little curves along the river, but that's the shallowest stuff. At this point, my bags are under a tree about 3 or 4 S-turns back that way. All I got is my cameras, my goggles, my snorkel. And I'm within 500 feet of the road. So there's definitely people within 500 feet of this creek all the time passing by.
The fun side is that it really doesn't matter who we are if we are someone to ourselves. No one else can think my thoughts, so I am myself only to me. Does that make sense? So to be important, I only need to impress myself. And I can do that if others are positively affected by what they see in me or see me do. Why do the yellow and purple flowers flourish where no one is there to see? The answer is at last obvious to me. No one has to see what is there. The grass sees, and the trees and the rushing waters of the spring creek also see. Just want to take this out of the housing for a minute to show just how quiet it is here. Just me and the river, the creek. It is May 22nd, probably around, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon now. The road's right over there. One side of the canyon, other side of the canyon. I think it all fits. There's no reason it shouldn't be here. If it's not here, it's in a place like this. I guarantee it. It's gotta be. What has made me think that I had to see the beauty that is there in order to confirm its existence? We are all here only for the pleasure of others. Everything living only for the pleasure of others. Of course, that's it. That's why the stone marker said, "And smile at a homely girl." It had to be pounded into me. That's why all of Philadelphia was reduced to a thumbnail, to show me that each one is as important as the all, myself no less than any other, and no more. It seems obvious to me now that we are all temporary statements, like a cut bouquet on the living room table, to make brief comments in passing and maybe cause a smile, then go on to make room for others who will play their parts. Thank you, Mr. Shakespeare. When this realization hit me, at last I knew. If I cannot enrich those with whom I interact each day and cause them to be better for having passed their view, then I have wasted my turn. That I succeed in this endeavor is not as important as it is for me to make a solid try. For if the try is sincere, I have succeeded in whatever failure resulted. Kiss her on the cheek and whisper something that she will later note in her heart of keepsakes. Open the door for her, not to make her way easier, but just to say that you care. Be there when she arrives, to let her know that your time with her is important. Silence can be well understood if she sees an approving look. So now at last, at least for me, I know. And if no one should ever think of me when I have passed this veil, it will be of no consequence. For I have finally found my way, and I am at peace with all of it.
Of it, I thought that it would be in this. This is actually the Iron Spring Creek. This isn't the fire hole. This is actually called the Iron Spring Creek. The fire hole, right before Black Sand Basin, the fire hole turns off to the left and goes to Old Faithful.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, between Midway Basin and the Black Sand Basin,
This is,
they split off, and this becomes the Iron Spring Creek.
and then do they marry up again?
No, this just kind of runs off on its own and just peters out. And the fire hole goes a long way down that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes up there by,
But this creek does not. Yeah.
does it run that way or this way?
It runs north. Yeah. So, from the clues and watching interviews of the guy and stuff and news reports and things, it's been out here for a few years. But last February sometime, the Today Show did a story on it, and it became a big deal. My mom told me about it, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. But it's getting kind of chilly, and
That water, I bet you it's cold, huh?
yeah, it's about.
Dressed properly,
It's probably in the 70s, I would think. But with it being only 80 out here, I would be cold as hell if I was coming out in a pair of shorts, But God, I was watching the tree line the whole time for bears and stuff. Never saw anything.
Yeah, that's why I'm just out in the Andrews, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I parked up there at the pull out.
I hope you don't mind me videotaping. I've been videotaping my whole trip just to document it.
Oh, okay.
What's your name?
Brian.
Okay.
This thing doesn't have any kind of zipper, except for this one right here. But I have to pull it off of me from here on. I went searching for this treasure one other time last year, when my kids were on spring break. We went out to New Mexico, which is where I originally thought it was going to be, and obviously it wasn't there, but I wasn't really even able to search like I wanted to, because I had them with me, like 10, 7, and 6-year-olds. I have shorts on, so don't worry. Oh, that was easier than I was expecting. Whew. All right, that's good. Oh, thanks a lot.
Alrighty, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more time. All right, thanks for showing up.
Okay, thanks, and lots of luck.
All right, I appreciate it.
Alrighty.
I'm all done. About to start heading out of here. Just cleaned off my shoes. I did a good portion of the creek. I feel good about it. To go up any further that way, I feel like I'm getting into Geyser Basin territory. And when I got down that way, it started getting really slow and really quiet, and it started feeling cooler outside. It's not so cool now, but it's still cooler than I would like it to be. And some guy came out of the woods to come say hi to me. I thought he was a park official, but just some guy, and he videotaped me getting out of my wetsuit and stuff, which was pretty funny. So that seemed like a good sign to call it. No regrets at all. I've had an amazing time, and I've accomplished everything I set out to accomplish. Well, I got all my stuff here ready to go. Just wanted to show that I'm not leaving anything behind. The whole area, you can't even tell that I was there. Might have left a few footprints, but that's about it. All my stuff sitting right there. I'm just gonna sit down for a minute and have a granola bar and then be on my way. Oh man, that would have been great. Wow. That would have been so terrific. But I never saw anything that I would call the blaze. And I looked where I thought it was. So, you know, that's all I got. It's 4:18 right now. I believe it was 11:22 when I got out of the car. So, spent at least 3 hours in there. And I feel like I covered a lot of area. I can go home feeling like I accomplished what I came to accomplish. There's no way to know if the next freaking patch of grass that I kicked would have had the treasure in it. No way. That stuff was hard to deal with because it could have been there for years, and it had dirt built up in it, and it had there's a lot of bugs out here. Had dirt built up in it, and it was real thick, and you couldn't even tell if it was solid all the way through. So if it's under some of that, it could be pretty deep. But I didn't bring my pokers that I brought kind of as a joke, but kind of serious, and then I left them behind, and now I wish I had them because they would have been perfect for sticking into that stuff. But oh well. Let me eat this granola bar. Goodbye, Iron Spring Creek. I know you have it. For today, you can keep it. I know you got it. I know she's got it. Bitch, would he give it up? Oh well. Either my shoes or my wetsuit are leaking out of the bottom of my bag. Highly more likely to be the wetsuit since I smashed everything on top of it. But it's soaking the backs of my legs. I could do without that. Thank you very much. It was a good idea to put on these workout shorts though, because I was able to keep them on, and you know, I'm a little wet, but not real bad. And they're still comfortable, and my legs aren't chafing or anything, so it's all good. Alright, this is where I'm coming out back up to the road. Just shy of a geyser basin. Gonna check out this area a little bit before I give up completely. I just want to see what the river looks like through here. A lot of places for bears to be hiding. That's a little uneasifying. But I don't see anything yet. There was no marker that said don't come through here. We'll see what the river looks like down here. This is literally just outside of the geyser basin. Like, I can see it. I see people over there at the basin. Oh, I wonder. I'm not about to get all dolled up again, but this is a place that I would recommend checking if someone else comes out here with the thought process that I had. A little bit more current here. I don't know, but this is literally right outside the basin. The GoPro batteries are dead. I don't know what to do now. Guess I could just not film the whole walk, but I already see a sign, so I think I was about as close to it as I could have gotten. I wouldn't want to mess with this kind of stuff. That'll get you in trouble. But I think I was in an area where people could go and fish, where I would think Forrest would have gone and fished. So I don't feel like that was a bad spot. I still believe it. I just don't believe I got to it. I'm glad I tried, you know. But last walk to the car in Yellowstone. This is the road to Black Sand Basin. No parking along the road, people. Jeez. Chill out. Well, I just decided that I cannot leave that stone unturned. So I'm going to walk back over there. I'm not going to put the wetsuit on. I'm just going to jump in my shorts and my shoes. Because it's a real quick spot that I need to look at. Just want to check below that waterfall. But the cameras are all dead. So I'm just taking my phone and shoes and stuff. Bear spray. There's still people over there, but I doubt they'll notice me. I won't be here very long. I'm just gonna put my shoes on and take everything off, put my undies, jump in there and take a look around this little area and then be on. There we go. This is gonna be really freaking cold this time. It's windy now too, and there's no sun out. This is a bad idea.